Hey guys, welcome back. We are in PSV Eindhoven. This one, the tactic I built for this one is not based on any other coaches or things like that. I just went in and tried to make a tactic for PSV Eindhoven. I just thought you can just go through it. We will also go into a little bit through the PSV Eindhoven. I will give a grade of, this is the first time I've been in Eredivisie in Netherlands in Football Manager 2021. And I liked it, to be honest, guys. I liked it very well. One of the reasons I liked this was it's not that many games. The 4 games is really, you can see the results. So we can begin with this one. But the games on 34 games, okay. But normally there are 38 games. If you're not 20, if there are 20 teams, it's 38 games. Those 4 games are a lot of games. When you think about the shoulder that the schedules that is based on the coronavirus in this year's 2021 season. So yeah, and then good, happily or badly, we went out in the very early in the Europa League. But in the Netherlands, in the league, guys, we played very well. 34 games. I wanted the 100 points. I didn't achieve that, and I also wanted to go without a loss, but I got this one against Ajax. Both is my fault here. I really messed up the players. Anyway, no excuse. We lost. We won the title. We scored 88 goals. Ajax scored 2 goals more than us. We conceded only 27 goals. Based on our tactic, guys, the way we played with attacking mentality. The base here was a little bit Gegen style, but the thought behind it is more that based on players you have, and we wanted to have a link up from the right side, get the ball to the left, and from left get across in and score from the right side again, and yeah, it worked well. Sometimes we use going through it, attacking. So you want the players to take the risk. You want the players to go forward. Based on those taking the risk, you play fairly wide against good teams. And here's where I lost it against Ajax, because I forgot to do something. When you play against the better teams, you go fairly wide, standard here, and you go take away the work the ball into the box, and maybe also go a little bit standard in the passing directness. But okay, we didn't do that. Anyway, normally we went with fairly wide. As you can see here, we had overlap at the left side because we wanted to get Max here. As you can see, his crossing is extremely well, 16. We want him to give the crosses. We want Gakpo to keep the ball on the counterattacks. Gakpo himself went in here and got a shot or made an assist. If not, he went in. He either used the players like Pukki or sometimes used Max at the left side when he overlapped him. Max is a great overlapper player. He's 13 assists and 5 goals, so he made a very, very good job at the left side here. So yeah, so that was the reason of the overlap. We focused more play at the wide areas. Even though we had 2 players here, we wanted the ball to go wide areas. I could maybe switch on away this one, but the problem would be then the ball would go too early. You need to get the ball switched from side to side. One of the best things was when we got the ball to the right side, and from the right side switch it over to the left side. And as well as we having an advanced playmaker here, he will often just give the long ball from here over to the other side. If not, you see that is a problem, you can then use this player as a deep line playmaker, and you can get the switch from side to side even faster. Okay, and better. So this is why we want the ball to go. We don't have any. We have Götze here. He could come down and bring the ball, but when he came out and pick up the ball, it was the movement around. Either it was Pukki or it was the wide areas. So this is very high up in the field. You wanted the attacks to start in the wider areas of the field. We wanted a higher tempo because we wanted to take the risk. As you can see, it's a high risk game. We want a player to take risk. We have 4 players playing offensive here. You want those 4 players to take those chances, as well as Max that's coming up here in overlap. But then you also have to make a balance for it, and that is for me These. I use also sometimes These here staying wide, and sometimes I use him stay narrow. Really, he doesn't do much in the offensive play. As you can see here, he didn't do much. 1 assist, and the other one who played there was Dumfries. These 2 plays almost killed me in the season. I play him, he got angry. I play the other one, he got angry. Anyway, you want to run at the defense. This is all about taking the chances. And why is that? Because you have Götze. I mean, Götze dribbling 16, first touch. Look at his passing. Look at in this division, he is, his these personal attributes are among the best in the game in this division. Okay. Sorry guys. So as you can see here, 13 goals, 14 assists. This is a player who can really create something, and why not shouldn't he dribble when you're in the final part? And the thing is here, we don't want to keep the ball much there and shuffle it around from side to side. We want to end up to finish it as fast as possible, win the ball and go at it again. So okay, you have him, you have also the other players like Gakpo, as his dribbling is 16, and you also have Iatran. This is extremely good player, 18 years old, dribbling 15, and of course he can dribble. We're gonna give him license to kill. The only problem was then with I had with Max, if he starts to dribble. So if you see that player coming up and he's not good at dribbling at the sides, because these 4 can dribble, these 3 here can dribble, especially he's not going to dribble, he's going to run more into the room behind there. Then you have support coming out behind, okay? If these two's distance become too much, then you have the Carriero here who's gonna support. So you're setting up your players in a way so if these players dribble, they can win. The problem is if Max loses the ball, is this good enough? Okay. Higher tempo, as you can see, run at defense, work the ball into the box. If you don't do that, it can go just too fast. They're gonna shuffle it up, hoof it up, all of them. When we come here, guys, to the intersection, we want to counter press, but we want to hold the shape. And it's more because I saw the game start waving too much. We could score more goals by counter, I think, especially when I got Pukki in. I had Malen, but he got injured immediately. 8 games, 6 goals. But so I got, thank God, Pukki, and Pukki came in and delivered 16 games, 11 goals. And it's more because of his off the ball movement, pace. That's what I was looking at. So you have Götze coming in, you have Pukki going. You could score some more goals, but it started to wave too much, the games, and yeah, and I start getting results without it. I think you can have the counter attack on, but again, your team is not set on balance. If you look at here, if you go counter attacking, almost every player can go at the left side going to go forward. We're gonna have a problem there. So distribute the goalkeeper from to center backs or to the full backs. Don't slow it down. You could maybe only go also distribute quickly, so he sometimes can go forward, especially when I had the goalkeeper called Mevuge, I think. His kicking is extremely good, so that could give us some counter attacks. But when I took away the counter attacks, I also took away the distribute quickly. So we didn't have that one. When I go out of position here, you see that it's a normal high pressure, guys. Higher line of engagement, higher defensive line. More urgent, but I didn't went all in here. And yeah, I know in this game you can get stuck in, and it doesn't give you that much problem in terms of yellow cards and free kicks against. I personally don't think if you're a good team, it doesn't hurt you that much. If you have players who are decision making is low and they have high aggression with bad tacklings, you're gonna have a big problem if you go here, I think. But in user tied to marking has also been much better this year. You go also force the opposition outside, and in my thought is because when you pressure high up in the field, you cannot stand too wide, especially if you don't have fast enough players defensively, and we didn't have that. So okay, how did it also go into the players here? As you can see, guys, you saw Götze, you say, for example, other players here, Italien here, you saw before, 9 goals, 8 assists, and the PSV Eindhoven is full of young players. I mean, if you're going to Serie A, if you're going to Premier League, if you're going to La Liga later, start with this game here. Get to know the Netherlands League, get to know the young players in the reserve team, and every every player here is a lot of players you can take with yourself. I think the launch here, great players that can be. I don't know if he's gonna be a La Liga player, but he's a cheap player. We can bring him in. You can also have other young players that you can show here. Mido Heimbach here, 14 goal assist heading. I gave him one appearance. You have players such as Jesse Gibbels in the defense that I don't think gonna be that good, but in the game he's highly believed. Through the Frederick Oppegård, this left back is 188 tall, guys. 188 tall. His left back. His jumping reach is 16. So if you're gonna use him as, and you can see he have the pace. I would believe a so big player will have problems with it, with his age of agility and pace when he's gonna play at the left back. But no, he's going to do a good job there. You see, he's gonna have a good offensive. His offensive part gonna be good. He played 3 games for me, scored 1 goal, of course. His jumping reach is good, so having a left back that is good defensively in set pieces defensively is very, very good. You can also see his progress here. If you go to attributes, all time, very good. So this is a player I didn't use that much. But you have one. Before I go back to the tactical, you have just one more player you should be looking at, guys. All of them you should be looking at. Jeremy Antionis. Look at his development here. This is insane. Progress all time. This guy is cool. This guy is good. This is a good player. And yeah, you had also, for example, Muda from Norway. You had the English player as well. So yeah, I had one player that got 3. I think, was it him? 3 or something? 3 numbers higher in something physical. It was insane in 1 season. Okay, guys, but one thing else that you should know about Football Manager 2021, in my opinion, is that opposition instructions is very important. Opposition instruction is very important. For me here, I can see that I have 4 players here. I want to play high pressure. I want to have a high intensity in the game. So what I would do here, guys, is I would look at the opponent. This is something is fixed always in the game. So if a team is using DM central, he will be marked pressing intensity, and intensity will be there. But I would then go and look at the player and see, okay, who is that player? And we're gonna look at something here. For example, if you have a defender right, I always ask the defender right to go inside, because I don't want him to hoof the ball high behind the defensive line to the wingers. Normally the wingers are fast, okay, and the same with the left defender. You know, I want them to pass the ball back. You know, I don't care if he's a right-footed or left-footed player. I want him to pass the ball back. So a left defender, I want him to give the ball to the left central defender. Why? Because we were 2 players here approaching, and we had the physique, especially with Puki here, Pucky, what are we gonna call him, to push it in. Okay. The other point is, if a team is playing with a defensive midfielder, first thing I will watch is, okay, is this defensive midfielder the best technical player in the team? If he is, that means, if you, for example, they are playing 4-3-3, right? So if you are playing 4-3-3, this is a defensive midfielder. You have a MCL and you have a MCR, right? Do you agree, guys? So I will look at these 3 players and I will see if a player is very good technically. Let me see, this is Pirlo playing here. Then I would not take the pressing intensity so high, because it's stupidity to go on players that have a high composure. He can read the game well. He have a good first touch, and you're gonna press him intensively. It's just stupid. No, he gonna just eat your first pressure and he's gonna pass it through you. But you want him to be marked. Why? Because if you are marked him, he will not get the ball that often. And if you see he's a weak player with low bravery, or he have high aggression or something like this, sometimes some players are losing their heads, you know, you go for the tackle hard. But if a player, you can see he's physically small, have low composure as well, you know, things like that, and his bravery is low going down here, you can tackle him harder. So okay, so if he's Pirlo, I will go with this, and I will go with this. Harder tackling, okay? And I wouldn't care if he's a right-footed or left-footed player. I would thought, you know, do I want this player to give the ball because he's in a way of a regista, but playmaker? Do I want him to switch the play over to the right side or the left side? If they are using a right defender that is coming up all the time, I want to set him to the left. The reason is because it's more dangerous if he goes to the right. So for me is where I want to show them. I didn't normally take so much on the midfielder here, okay? So this was Pirlo, then I went like this on Pirlo. And then you have Ambrosini in front of Pirlo. Ambrosini, you know he will not get the ball that much. Then I would not mark him. But I know Ambrosini was not that good with the ball, for example. You know, we are going to the Milan Christmas tree formation here, guys. Okay, so what will I do here is that I will go to the... I will press him intensely, but I will not go too hard. But maybe you could also go, I know his bravery is hard, his physique is hard, but his technical gift is not a technically gifted player, so you could go there. So look at all the midfielders. I have I would say, okay, and you have Gattuso, you will go like this. Then I will go like this. Okay? But then you have the second problem, guys. Then you have the second problem. Sorry. The second problem will be that if they suddenly use two defensive central midfielders, they're gonna go with DMCL, DMCR, okay, and they go with the MC. So we can forget these ones, right? So what should I do here? And you look at the players before the game. You look at them and you see, okay, this player is Pirlo. The left is Pirlo. The right is Kante, and this one is Kaka. Huh? Okay, this is good. So okay, what should you do here? You know, you see, okay, first you start with the Pirlo. Pirlo is Pirlo. Okay, what should I do with Pirlo? We don't want Pirlo to get the ball. Okay, Kante. We really don't care if Kante gets. If you see, I will go this with Kante. But if you see in the game he's getting the ball too many times, then you take him off. Take him off like this. Okay. Then I will go this one, and I will look at the AMC here, guys. The AMC I see is Kaka. Okay. Tackle him harder and marker him tighter. And at the right and left side, okay, you have Arjen Robben at the right side. I would never press intensity over that much. I would never do that. You can maybe mark him if you're getting the ball too many times, but then you have to have a player that can really keep hold of Robben, okay? But I would do something with Robben. I would go to the right foot, right? I want him to be pushed to the right side. These things are very important, especially the pressure you have here. I also went to all the central defenders before the game because I had two strikers especially, but normally you should do that. If you have a player, if they have a player who is bad with the ball, for example, if the DCL is very bad with the ball, I ask him always to go to the left side and I push the defender left side, press intensity high. Why? Because he's bad with the ball. You know, his composure. So you see someone's composure. For example, if you want to build up the game from behind, what do? You look for the players who have the good composures. That's the rule number 1 or 2 or 3. I don't know. One of the important rules. So this is a very important part of it, guys. The position instructions. This is very, very important. And yeah, but the other part of the tactic we didn't go through was the instructions. I really don't have that many instructions at the advanced forward. It goes as it goes. You have, for example, Götze, because he's a false niner, and I want him to set up Pukki as many times as possible, and also those players around his more direct passing. At the left side, I again have a more direct passes from Ihataran, I think it is. Sorry if I'm saying it wrong. And I want him to get forward, and I want him to roam more from his position. Okay, I want him to roam more from here, and I want him to get more forward here as well. And when you go to Gakpo here, I want him to hold up the ball so Max can come. That's very important. If you have such a good left back, you want him to get up in the field. Roam from position, of course you want to roam from position, and you want him to sit a little bit more narrow so he can be more, you want him to be pushier. You want to have a triangle here with Götze, Pukki and Gakpo, and as well you have a new triangle with Gakpo, Pukki and Max that's coming up, okay? This one can play as a deep line playmaker. When Adrian Fine was playing, he was a deep line playmaker. And he had closed down more. The reason was because Gakpo is very bad defensively. As you can see here, his work rate, his tackling, his bravery is not that good, and his teamwork is good, but he's not going to do much defensively. They're going to lose the ball, and we're mostly going to get direct crosses and attack from the left side, especially that Max is coming up, so you need to have someone who can pressure up here. From the right side you have also Sanagara. Sanagara is the same thing because you have a problem with Ihataran, because he doesn't work concentration 7, his work rate is 9, his defensive tackling is 5, bravery very, very, very bad. So you want him to come here and win the ball as often as possible. In the defense, you have one central defender in stopping. This is not something you must have. I use sometimes defender as well. But anyway, I wanted him to mark tighter. I want him to mark tighter. I want him. So you have to have some a player with. His marking is good enough for the central defender in this league. The central defenders here are almost like defensive midfielders, all of them. So yeah. These here you have to stay wider or sit more narrow based on who you're playing against. You play at this one to mark him tighter. Bushkelly didn't play that much here, so it was more. The guy I had here was Viergever, and he's more as a fully back, because I played him as a center back here, and he's, as you can see, good as marking, and his pace is not that good, but anyway, it's mostly because for counter attack, especially, the players here, the strikers was not that fast, so you wanted to go up in there and win the ball. The wingers are very fast in the Netherlands, in my opinion. The strikers were not so fast, so I think this system you can play very well also in Italy, in Serie A. You can play this system. The goalkeeper, nothing special. Here we want to cross aim far post. Many people will wonder why I did that, but it worked. Götze, he should not be scoring goals, but he did score goals, but many of the goals came from the second ball rebound from this area here, that Itarun or Sangara or Gakpo here came and won the second ball. Yeah, have I forgotten anything before the game? Yeah, training is also important, guys. Training is important. But training and opposition instruction, I think, is important for every game you have in this game. So yeah, this was good. The system was good. I personally liked it. You could see clearly how you attack from one side. I will not upload it because I don't like plug-in tactics. This is inspiration more. But if you have a team that you think, I have good offensive players, I have a good advanced forward. And the other thing is, we didn't park the bus, even though we played a lot of counter-attack. I think we had, if you go into Eredivisie here, guys, you go to the team instruction, to the stats, you can see the team overview here. I think we had the highest possession, 58%. Because you're winning the ball, you're getting it. This is more like a Leeds, maybe it's a Bielsa. Huh? I'm not saying this is a Bielsa formation, but this is based a little bit like that. You have good offensive players, you mark them tightly. I was watching Leeds, I think, when I set this up. I must have been watching Leeds. No, I was not watching Leeds. I was watching opponents of Leeds talking about Leeds. That was the thing. I think I got my inspiration from there. And I also saw that for my surprise, that a lot of time PSV Eindhoven is playing 4-4-2 in the season, and sometimes 4-2-2-2. And that was, I think, okay, Netherlands, that's new. So yeah, because one of my problems here was when I started, I got Götze and I also got Malen. Lionel Malen has a great pace. He has been injured in 7 months or something like that. Fast players who is good enough to ball movement in this game, they score goals for you guys. They can score goals. So I had to make some, but then they have to have the room for going to score goals. So I had to make that room for them. Guys, I hope you like the movie. If you like it, hit the like button. If not, don't hit the like button. But thank you anyway, guys. See you later. Bye.